This is the Sonde Namugongo Road. We're here at Sonde, heading towards Namugongo. It's a not so old road, but has recently been worked on. Those who remember when was it the Queen or the Pope they were visiting Uganda. But anyway, this is the Sonde Namugongo Road. It goes up to Seta, but we've looked at the section from Sonde towards Namugongo. It is a relatively old road which basically gave way for the significant development of this area. This road used to be very dusty, very abandoned, and at that time real estate was really very cheap here. But following its rehabilitation, as you would expect, there was a lot of changes. It now requires a resurfacing and a reconsideration in a way to improve its mobility. It's fairly in good shape, though not efficiently maintained. That's why I believe that it would benefit from some level of consideration for resurfacing. It's a two-way road and highly trafficked by residents from Seta, Mukono, Namugongo, up to Kyaliwajjala. And those who are usually coming from Jinja and you want to cut on the traffic on the Jinja roads, they usually prefer this option, as it is more of another ring road around town. It goes up to Namugongo, up to Kyaliwajjala, and of course at Kyaliwajjala you have the rest of the connectivity from Kyaliwajjala to Chireka, from Kyaliwajjala or Nadia to connect to the bypass, and all the way from Kyaliwajjala to Chira. So it is a good road. A couple of potholes here and there, but for me, what is and I always emphasize this, that once such a road was improved, there's a lot of developments that came with it. Most of the buildings that are now surrounding or along the entire section of the road are still new. They were motivated by the development. If you go on the insides of this road, a kilometer away from it, you'll find that there's a lot of development. Land here, which was originally at 10, 12, or at most 20 m, is now upwards of 90, 100 in the last 10 years. So already that shows you the impact or the growth that is associated with this kind of road development. But to make it more interesting, and this one I know is something that people would be interested in, just like the Chira Bulindo, or even the road that goes through to Najera up to Chiwatule. This road too, in the same spirit, would need some reconsideration, to at least have it as a two-lane on both sides, so that it helps to cut on the traffic jam that basically mars this road. At the moment, there's a lot of traffic jam for motorists on both directions, depending on the time of day. In the morning, of course, traffic facing Kampala will find it hardest to get to town. Lines can stretch all the way from this side up to Namugongo, up to Chira. And I feel that if it were a dual carriage, I think that would improve, at least on the travel times for people leaving this side. Otherwise, you end up having to wake up so early to beat the morning traffic, which is okay. But if you didn't have that, I think if you had the bigger roads, it would help. Nonetheless, maybe the improvements in terms of covering up the potholes, resurfacing, making it better, widening it, providing provision for borders, I think that also will help to improve traffic flow on this condition, on this road, and also the businesses that will need to benefit more. And that's a very good access road to bypass the traffic jam on the Ginger Road. At least you can head up to Seta, depending on wherever you're going. And it's a highly a residential area as well. And later on, of course, this road, once it links up with Nalia, that section as well is really jammed during the peak traffic hours. That is in the morning and the evenings, and that too would certainly benefit from any improvements. I know when such improvements are spoken of, people always bring up the right of way issue, especially for some of these roads where the road reserve is almost non-existent or is lined up with the business structures, kiosks, and roadside street sellers. But that withstanding, I think attempt can be made to do subsurface drainage, to widen and see how to create more space, at least to create a third lane which can be interswitched between the different peak periods for traffic flow. We have taxis that trek this road, and those have the public transport segment. Not as many, but at least there are a few that people can use. Of course, the borders are everywhere. That's the nature of our roads. They tend to attract a lot of business, roadside selling, shops, arcades, or shopping centers, and so on. Yeah. So this is the road. Not so new, but also suffered poor maintenance for a long period of time. From here towards Namugongo, I think they are trying to resurface it, especially in the very bad areas, and to improve it in that extent. One of the challenges we have is the seasonality of traffic flow. Find that you have so many cars in the morning taking up half the road, go all heading or pointing towards town, and the opposite happens in the evening. So in terms of planning, I think it is important that the scenario could be drawn that if you have 3 lanes, 2 could be utilized at any time to ferry the dominant traffic direction. If the morning is taking on more traffic, then we give it 2 lanes towards town. So this is the point where they're resurfacing the road. I think this is so far good, and it improves the mobility. But like I was saying, if we can have 3 lanes with consideration of space challenges, you can see how to work with that to accommodate more traffic flow on the road. We're approaching the Namugongo Shrine, and soon we will be at Kyaliwajjala, another very busy junction in this part of town, or of Kampala Metro. You can see the road equipment on the sides. On my right is the shrine, the gardens, and all that space. And this is Namugongo for you. And as you're aware, 3rd June is coming up, so perhaps these preparations will help, portray a good picture of this neighborhood. We all know that during that season, you're better off leaving your car. Of course, these roads are cut off; you can't access them by car because of so much foot traffic that is here, or the business of the area at that time. I think that goes a long way in telling you what has to be done. So all these are busy areas, but in the morning around 7, this is almost a no-go zone. You have vehicles parked here up to that junction, and of course it is made worse by those that are trying to create a second lane. But this is the nature of the road, irrespective. And our Uganda drivers always find a way of how to move on the roads we have. We're now approaching the Kyaliwajjala junction. On the left, it connects up to Chireka, parts of Umbara, goes up to parts of Kamuli. You can even find the Kamuli road. On the right, you can connect to Chira, back to Nigeria side, go to Bulindo, or go through to Kasangati, which is now being worked on. They're trying to expand the right section from here to Kasangati. So this is the Sonde Namugongo section, and today we'll stop at this junction, just to make the video shorter and to make it easier for those watching. This is a very busy junction. You don't want to come here in the peak hours. From here we start the Nalia